Welcome to the Preferred Walk-On Show. Get fired up. It is not just week 7, brother. It is a week 7 for the ages. This docket is loaded, and it all starts tonight on Friday night with USF and North Texas. I'm Seth. He's James. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. Great weekend of football ahead. Can't wait. We got Deep South Oldest Rivalry. Obviously, with our dogs, we got the Red River Shootout. Some rumors floating around the Matier might play. He's listed as probable. Don't know if that's smoke and mirrors. Kind of looking forward to some just great football this weekend.
To quote my boy, it is another GYA Saturday here in the lovely world of college football. Glue your rear ends accordingly.
Exactly.
Oh, it's going to be outstanding, man. I cannot wait, and I feel like it's every time slot tomorrow. Look, man, I mean, let's talk a little bit about last week first. Again, I feel like we say this every week, but you talk to a casual fan going into last weekend and like, not a lot of sex appeal this weekend. I might go to the pumpkin patch or something like that. And then boom, it was just every single game I feel like was topsy-turvy. UCLA upends Penn State. They're just imploding. I mean, it was a crazy weekend. Like up and down the docket, just a wild weekend. It was so awesome. And I think it's going to be more of the same tonight and tomorrow, man. Just so many good games on the docket. And I have to start with you with this USF North Texas game kicking off tonight. Blackout in Denton tonight for Bulls and Mean Green. They canceled class this afternoon, so the UNT faithful going to be tuned up come kickoff tonight. It's going to be rocking. And really, man, I want to start this by talking with you about Eric Morris, okay? Because his story is unreal, first and foremost. He was a wide receiver at Texas Tech for Mike Leach. Pretty sure he was in the same wide receiver room, like sandwiched between Danny Amendola and Wes Welker, like somewhere in that time span. I don't know if he was contemporary with them, but somewhere in that frame. Had a pretty good career. I think 2,000 receiving yards or something. So nothing to sneeze at, right? And then ends up getting his first coaching job with Coach Leach at Texas Tech and kind of bounces around and eventually ends up as the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech under Cliff Kingsbury, and then ends up going to Incarnate Word and then finds his way to UNT. So let me go through a list of quarterbacks with you, okay? I'm just going to throw some names at you. Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Cam Ward, John Matier, Chandler Morris. What do all those guys have in common? They were all recruited and or coached by Eric Morris. So if there is anybody across America that is a quarterback whisperer, it's our boy in Denton, man. I mean, unreal, right? Like, was part of the recruiting process with Patrick Mahomes. He is literally the guy that found Cam Ward. That is how Cam Ward ended up at Incarnate Word, is Eric Morris, dude. He was scouting and playing basketball. And he's like, I love basketball players, and I love point guards especially. And so we wanted to get Cam, and he played in this weird offense in high school, so we were hoping nobody would see him. And then, dude, John Matier turned around Chandler Morris's career, obviously having a phenomenal year for UVA this year. And, dude, now, to top it all off, their starting quarterback this year, Drew Mestemaker, didn't even start at quarterback in high school, playing Texas high school football, because he kept getting passed on the depth chart, ended up punting and playing safety on his high school team. Now he's leading the Mean Green, 11 TDs, no picks, having a huge year. And one of the main reasons that they're sitting here at 5-0. Anyways, I know I had to talk a lot to get all that out, but I had to lay all that on you, dude, because I just think it adds so much to what's happening in Denton tonight.
No, it is a great story. And look, that resume speaks for itself. That's a great list of quarterbacks. But I mean, the other side of this is USF is just having a phenomenal year. They've obviously the upset in the swamp was what everyone talks about, but this is a good football team on both sides of the ball. They're really good at both lines of scrimmage. And I mean, their quarterback is legit. He's got a good chance to play on Sundays. He may not be a starter on Sundays because there's only 32 of those, but he's got a good chance to have a long career as second string guy and spot starter in the league. So I mean, you see the talent on Sundays. It's not like they don't need guys. So I like USF on the both sides of the ball, and I'm a line guy, so I really think North Texas is going to struggle tonight in that game.
Boy is stirring my pot right now. I like this North Texas team. You are correct, though.
I
This
know you
USF
do.
team is really, really good, man. Byron Brown is Yeah, Byron Brown's outstanding, dude, and that's not even touching. Like Chaz Nimrod, Kashawn Singleton are phenomenal. They just got weapons, man. They score a lot of points. They're averaging 36.2 a clip. Like they are a really, really dynamic team. Scholar's a really good coach too. I think that's the other part. I think he will obviously be one of the folks that's really sought after with all these openings throughout the Power Four conferences. I would be surprised. Now, I will say that we've talked about this. USF making a big time investment in football, so maybe they do what they can to keep him around, but I would be shocked if he's not at a bigger school when things kick off next year. Dude, on the flip side of that, though, like this North Texas team, and obviously they have not played yet, I would say, the caliber of competition that USF has played. I mean, dude, USF went on the road and played Florida in the Swamp, went on the road and played Miami at Coral Gables, opened up the season with Boise State, who has been better than they looked in that opener, and they just dollywhopped the Broncos. So really tough team. And on the flip side, man, this North Texas team leads the American in offense, scoring 44 points a game, have played really, really good defense. They're the number one defense in the American, North Texas. The flip side of that is that I don't think they've seen anybody of the caliber of USF yet. And so that's the rub. We're going to see what happens, man. I can't wait. Dude, North Texas got 7 guys with 100 or more receiving yards. Talk about like spreading the football out. They really,
Yeah.
dude, dynamic offense. I just think, too, that atmosphere is going to be wild tonight because let's have an honest conversation. I know Eric Morse has done a lot to turn that program, but historically, not a school that has been super relevant and continuously very good. And so I feel like that fan base is just frothing at the mouth for this opportunity to play on national TV in a game that really matters. Also, man, did you watch any of the Tulane ECU game last night?
That game was nuts.
It was nuts. Like it had all the Thursday night hijinks and it was so entertaining.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. That is a straight Tuesday night action game. Every time, everything that kept happening, I was like, this should have been Tuesday night in a blizzard.
Yes. Dude, it was crazy. Like Tulane did everything they could to give that game away. Yeah, it was wild, man. I mean, good on them for going out and getting the win. I thought it showed a lot of guts to kind of hang in, keep taking blows, keep screwing up, and then pull it out right there at the end. But good ball game, man. I'll tell you what, if ECU had pulled that off, it really would have kind of turned the American on its head, man.
It really would have.
Yeah, like, dude, the top of that conference is wild, right? Like, I feel like, okay, we're sitting week 7, going into week 7. You're looking at USF, North Texas, Tulane, Memphis, Navy, all hovering here at the top of the conference with kind of things playing out as we go on. So, man, that conference is just, I think, thick with intrigue and so much going on because tell me if you disagree, but I mean, that is the conference that's getting the G5 bid, no? Like, I just don't see another one stealing that.
Unless they cannibalize themselves, they should.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is always possible that they cannibalize themselves. They all end up with 2 losses, and then someone sneaks in with one G5 sneaks in with 1 loss.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. That's a good point. So let's maybe look out west and at the Mountain West Conference and UNLV. Let's say UNLV continues their run, ends up undefeated. Now, that's a good point and valid because that could very well happen. That conference is, the Americans, really, really good top to bottom. I think you kind of got to go through the ringer a little bit. So I'm sure somebody's going to get tripped up where it's not expected. But yeah, that's a really good point. All right. Well, obviously I am super fired up about that ball game tonight. So I'm counting that down. Let's move on to the Saturday slate. Let's start in the noon part of the docket. Ohio State heading to Champaign to play the Fighting Barges, Brett Bielema and the boys. Luke Altmaier having a really, really good year, has not turned the ball over through the air yet. However, has been sacked 19 times, brother. If I was an Illinois fan, that would give me a lot of anxiety because this Ohio State defense is a wagon, dude. Yeah, the number's big, right? Ohio State 14.5-point favorite on the road. But does that even give you any pause? Like, it's crazy, man. I feel like you and I have talked about how physical Illinois is and how physical Brett Bielema wants to be and the barge formation and XYZ. But when you just look at the brass tacks and the numbers, man, they have not run the football well at all season long. this don't really feel like the defense where you're going to turn the page on that.
Yeah. So I really wanted to pick Illinois in this game. I really did. Because this screams backdoor cover to me. It's the half point screams backdoor cover to me. But then every time I kept going, every time I've watched Illinois, every time they do run the ball well, they've had turnovers in the red zone. You go back to the USC game, they had two fumbles inside the 10. Indiana, when that game was still in question in the first 20 minutes, they had a fumble inside the red zone. But they have problems running the ball in the red area. Now, are they going to get to the red area? I don't know.
Yeah.
OSU's offense still kind of leaves a little bit to be desired, but they haven't needed to do much because their offense has given up, 5.5 points a game? I mean, I'm sorry, their defense has given up 5.5 points a game. I'm going to go with the Buckeyes. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a backdoor cover game just because of the half point and 14.5. And it is at Illinois. It is big noon kickoff. But I think the Buckeyes, I mean, their defense is so good.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. For me, this is just a Jimmy's and Joe's thing. I think this Ohio State team is real. I've seen enough now where that defense is. I don't want to say this yet because it's only week 7, but do you think it's too early to call it generational? Like, dude, they are outstanding. I mean, you're talking 7, 0, 9, 6, 3. That's the point totals they've given up thus far this season. Like, it hasn't even really been competitive. Like, we had talked about the Washington game when they had to go to Seattle, and I really thought that Huskies team was going to give them a run for their money. And, dude, they shut down with Washington all day long. I mean, they are just ferocious. Like, from Caleb Downs all the way down to Bo Atkinson, like, man, they just come at you all game long. Here's the other side of this, though, brother. I think their offense is starting to catch up, and I think that's what makes them scary. Like, dude, Sayin is completing 80% of his passes. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are both having huge seasons. Bo Jackson, James Peoples just switching off carries and lighting people up. Like, man, I don't know. They are a whole problem. So I'm with you. I think they cover. I don't love the number, but I think the only way for Illinois to stay in this game is to shorten the game and grind clock. And I don't think they have the offense to do that. And because of that, man, God, this could get out of hand. That's how I feel about it. But we'll see. I hope it's an awesome game, but I think the Buckeyes are going to roll. All right. Dude, the next one, other than the South Florida North Texas game, I think could be my favorite / most interesting game on the docket. And that's Alabama heading to Columbia to play Mizzou. Noon kick, 11 o'clock local. Mizzou been one of the surprises of the season, right? Like, Bo Prabula has been phenomenal. And if you're a Penn State fan, especially now, you're going, oh boy, I think we picked the wrong guy. Like, we should have paid Bo to stay and told Drew to go to the NFL. Like, it just hasn't worked out well. Whereas Bo Prabula's like right at home in Missouri. And, from the dog side of the ledger, sure would be nice to still have Damon Wilson in Athens, brother, because he has played very, very well for the Tigers. Guess who else is in that linebacking core for them, brother? I'm going to throw a name at you. Josiah Trotter.
Jeremiah Trotter's kid?
Son of?
Jeremiah Trotter.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Former Eagles great Jeremiah Trotter.
Don't they have Darius Smith, too, from the 22? He was a freshman on the 22 championship
From
Dogs
Georgia?
team. Yeah, from Georgia.
I'm almost positive that's right. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's right. Yeah, so they're very compelling. And then look, man, Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Roberts, both averaging 7+ yards a carry for Mizzou. Also, man, this Ahmad Hardy story is super, super cool. Went to a really small school in Mississippi, essentially did not get recruited out of high school by none of the Mississippi schools for sure. Ends up going to Louisiana Monroe, I believe, which is the only offer that he had out of high school. Had a huge freshman year. I think he was the Sun Belt Freshman of the Year, if I'm not mistaken about that. I could be wrong about that. I know he was on one of the Sun Belt teams. Mizzou goes and picks him out of the portal, and he's just exploded onto the scene. I saw Todd McShay tweet today, and I love this, and I'm so irritated I did not think of it myself. He said, Ahmad Hardy is an armored combat vehicle.
Oh, that's great.
That's so good. I just love that. I feel like that has to stick with him. So Anyways, I say all that to say, Mizzou, super compelling team. Bama is a 2.5-point favorite on the road. We talked about Bama a bunch. Obviously, one of the better receiving rooms in the country. Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, Isaiah Horton, Ty Simpson gets better and better each week. Where are you sitting on this?
So Bama's weakness has been stopping the run. Mizzou's obviously very good at running the ball. You just talked about the running back room. But where this game is going to, I think Mizzou's best chance is obviously to shorten the game and just run the ball. And I think Mizzou being at home, the 11 a.m. kick, I don't think is going to be a huge factor in this. I like Mizzou in this game. I think they got a shot to win outright. I think it's going to be close. I mean, 2.5 points to me is basically a pick 'em. I'm taking the Tigers in this. I like them.
Dude, I love this pick. I think I'm in the same boat. I've tried to talk myself out of it, but I think a lot of things pull in their favor. Number one, this is third straight week Alabama's got a get-up game, meaning they had to go on the road and play Georgia. Then they come back home. They have the hyped-up game against Vandy. Now they got to go to Mizzou back on the road and play a really, really good football team. And you brought up the point that I want to harp on. A very physical, very run-dominant, run-successful Missouri team. Dude, Alabama's given up 5 yards a carry. Florida State put up 240-plus on them. Georgia put up 240-plus on them. I just think Mizzou is built in a way that they can exploit Alabama's weaknesses, and I don't think that's good for them. Let me throw one more thing at you. Connor Talty, Alabama's kicker, 2 for 5 on field goals from 40 yards or more. I think the difference in the game is there is a field goal of that distance that they need, and he doesn't make it. And so I think Mizzou wins the football game that way. So I'm with you, man. I like the Tigers in this one. Although I think we're both looking forward to whatever the use of the crispy package will be this week for Alabama.
That is true.
I'm
yeah.
very excited to see Caden Proctor get his hands on the ball again and bumble, rumble, stumble down the field. It's going to be awesome. Also, you and I texted about this, but let's have a minute. If Caden Proctor is not getting an NIL deal with Krispy Kreme, what is the point of us having NIL? This is perfect. This is a match made in heaven. A big fella who can move on his feet, that loves that hot sign, baby. Like, we got to make this work. Come on now. Just has to happen. I need it to happen. I don't know. It makes too much sense not to happen. The folks at Krispy Kreme need to hop on this because I need my boy wearing the white Krispy Kreme hat in the Alabama full getup. Like, God, that'd be too good. That photo
That'd be great.
Yes, please make it happen. Okay, I feel like they're all just going to be like this, dude. Everyone I talk to is going to go, oh, God, I can't wait to watch that game. All right, next one. IU heading out to Eugene to play Oregon. 3:30 Eastern kick, 12:30. The boys love both these teams. We love Dan Lanning. We love Coach Signetti and what they're doing at IU. We love that roster, and we obviously are Hoosier converts after our phenomenal Bloomington visit last year. And 7.5-point favorite. That number surprised you, or do you think that's probably a function of Indiana's issues with Ohio State and Notre Dame last year?
No, I don't think it really has much to do with last year. I think it's at Autzen. I think that, this is on a neutral field. I mean, let's take this at a neutral field site. Oregon probably right now, 4.5 point neutral site favorites over Indiana, just based off their body of work this year. So, and let's be realistic. We're both not high on Penn State, but going to Penn State, going in a whiteout at night and dominating the second half the way they did. I know it went to overtime, but realistically, Oregon dominated that second half. There was like a 7-minute stretch where Penn State came back, and it was a busted coverage, and then they had a drive. Oregon really dominated that second half of that game. Oregon outplayed Penn State in that game. So I think the optics on Oregon are just better right now. So I think that's why it's 7.5. If this was at Memorial, I fully believe that this would be, we're looking at probably, 2.5 point spread. But I think Oregon's still favored. But I think the Ducks defense is just too fast and too much for Indiana in this game. I think Oregon wins. I think Indiana keeps it close in the first half, and I think Oregon pulls away in the second half.
Dude, Dante Moore's been really, really good. He's only turned the ball over one time. I think nobody in the country has been sacked less than he has. So Oregon doing a great job of protecting him. DeCorian Moore has been must watch. I mean, really, really good player. Malik Benson has been outstanding for them. They were a very, very good football team. And then they're led by Dan Lanning, who I don't know that there are three coaches in America that I like better than Dan. I just think he does an outstanding job there, and he's got them believing. And dude, did you see the video, his pregame at Penn State, where he said, so good. 100,000 fans all dressed in white. Looks like a canvas to me, and we're about to go paint our masterpiece. Oh, so good. So good. I was ready to run through a wall, dude. And that's how he is, man. I feel like that's just what he's like now. He's a master motivator. You can tell the kids love him. He's hard not to like, given his story, right? His coaching genesis. On the other side of that, you got an Indiana team. Fernando Mendoza has been really, really good with the football. 16 touchdowns, only thrown one pick. I think Indiana only has 2 turnovers total the entire year. So 2 teams that really protect the football. I think for IU, this is going to sound crazy. I know it's big for both of them, but this is a really big game for IU. And I think it's big from a cultural perspective. This is a prove-it game for them. This is an opportunity for them to say, look, we're not just up here when we're playing opponents that we should beat. We are somebody you got to deal with now. And man, I think they got the roster to do it. Like, you and I have talked about this a bunch. Not many wide receiver rooms I like better than Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. I mean, just absolute weapons on the outside for IU. And then, man, dude, Roman Henby, Kalen Black, Kobe Martin, all really, really good in that backfield. Dude, Kobe Martin's averaging almost 9 yards a carry. Like, super explosive. And so they've got a ton of weapons. And then I think this is the other part for me. I don't know that their defense gets enough love. Like, we've talked about this a little bit, but you got D'Angelo Pons, you got Mikhail Kamara, you got Aiden Fisher. Like, dude, they're really good level to level. I'm fascinated to see how they look and show up against a roster like Oregon's. Because I agree with you. I do think from a totality perspective, Jimmy's and Joe's perspective, Oregon probably still is a superior roster. But man, I don't know. Something about this Indiana team I really, really like. And I don't know that I think they're going to win straight up, but I like them with this number. This feels much more like a 3-point game to me, something in there. So I'm going to take the Hoosiers, but again, I don't know that they actually win straight up, but I like them against this number. So this is going to be such a fun game to watch, though. I think 2 of the more outspoken, airy, I would say, coaches in America. So, dude, I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch this unfold. All right, man. Next one on the docket, which normally I feel like would be the one that we're talking about and gearing towards, Red River Shootout, Oklahoma and Texas. Mentioned it earlier. John Mateer showing on the SEC injury report as probable for Saturday afternoon's game. Sooners, I think, were a 1.5-point favorite before that was even announced. So I'm sure the line has shifted since we built the sheet. But Texas coming off a tough week last week at the Swamp. Dude, they just had a hard time. I don't know what is going on with them. I didn't think, to be honest, I didn't think Arch looked that bad last week. He actually made a few plays where you go, oh, like, that's it. That's what everybody's been talking about. But yeah, where do you sit on this one? How do you feel like this is going to play out on Saturday at the Cotton Bowl?
Look, Arch is getting way too much hate, I think, for how he's played. Look, has he played great? No, but he's under fire way too quickly. The line has not been good. They don't have much. He is their entire offense. He is their run game. He is obviously their passing game. So the line has been bad. The receivers have been okay. So he's their entire offense, and I think the pressure is getting to him a little bit. He's a first-time starter, and I think that just because if his last name wasn't Manning, I don't think that the expectations would be what they are. So I think it's a little bit unfair for everything that's been pushed upon him. I mean, Florida's got a good defense. Florida's going to give a lot of people problems with that defense. I mean, they have given lots of people problems, and they're going to continue to. They gave LSU problems. So, but as far as this game goes, I think Oklahoma's defense might be just as good, if not better, than Florida's defense. So I think that whether Mateer plays or not, I think that Oklahoma's going to win, and I think they're going to cover. My bigger shock with Texas has been their front seven was supposed to be dominant this year, and they got bullied last week. Florida just lined up and were like, we're going to run it down your throat. And they did. at will. Like, they could not stop ball at all. And that was surprising to me. So not only do they have problems on the offensive line, they have problems in their front seven on defense too. And, if they lose this game, they might just pack it in. And that's on the coaching staff.
Yeah, man, it'd be tough to be sitting at 3 losses and your second weekend in October. They're in a weird spot, especially given all the expectations and all the eyes that are on that program. Plus, man, I just feel like program-wise, with all the resources they have, the expectation is to be top of the barrel, and they are decidedly not. Here's the other thing about Texas that's been weird for me. And look, man, I feel like we try to make football fancy. We try to make it exotic. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty simple game. You gotta be good on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And you got to be able to run the football. And you got to be able to stop the run. Texas can't run the football, man. I mean, that's the big issue here. Arch Manning is their leading rusher. They ran for 52 yards last week against Florida. Dude, that's a problem. Like, they're not going to win many games at all, whoever the quarterback is, if they're not running the football and able to establish the line of scrimmage. That ain't going to get no better on Saturday. Look, man, you name a defensive category, OU is top 5 in it. So that defense is going to come to eat, and I'm kind of with you, man. Whether it's John Mateer, whether it's Michael Hawkins Jr., I like Boomer Sooner in this game. The one thing that gives me pause about that OU team, and we've talked about this, they also do not run the football very well at all. And so I think as the season progresses, that will be a problem for OU. I just don't know that it comes to bite them against Texas. Now, we should caveat this entire conversation that the Cotton Bowl is a weird, weird animal. And so I would imagine a lot of crazy stuff is going to happen tomorrow. There will probably be some type of massive special teams play, whether it's a kick return or a punt return or a block or something. I just feel like this game is always a little bit drunk, and so I anticipate that it will be that way tomorrow. How do you feel about the 3:30 kick, 2:30 local? I don't know that I love that. Like, it used to always be noon, 11 local, noon. Right?
Yeah. It's weird. I guess they're doing it because of the schedule. Because it's the slate of games tomorrow. There was really no explanation about why they moved it.
I think it's all TV, man. I think ABC wanted it in that 3:30 slot. Technically, it's the SEC game of the week, which is weird to say.
Which is weird, yeah. That's bananas.
I think 2 years ago, this would have been the CBS 3:30 game with Brad and Gary. So I do think that's part of it, but it's still weird, man. It's always like, this is the game, they do game day, you roll into the game and it's kick. Yeah. Like that's what it is. Yeah. So it's a funny time slot to sit in. Yeah, I think Oklahoma's gonna roll in this. They should, given how things have gone this year. But again, crazy things happen at the Cotton Bowl, so who knows? Regardless of all of that, this is 1A on my list of games to go to. 1A. The only thing above this is Army-Navy. But I want to go to the Cotton Bowl for Red Rivers so bad. Let's ask this. How many hot dog Wellingtons do you think you could eat in one sitting?
Man, I don't know. Okay, drinking or not drinking?
Like booze or anything?
Booze. Because where there's booze involved, I don't think at this age I could do that many. If there's not booze,
that'd be a lot of heartburn.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know, man. You can eat, even though I'm bigger than you, you've always been able to eat me under the table with that metabolism of yours.
Let me tell you something. Hot dog Wellington low-key could be your boy's favorite food. Like for my birthday, my family goes out to like Sonic or Cookout or somewhere of that ilk and just gets a tray of hot dog Wellingtons to enjoy. I love them.
Oh my God.
I could eat a lot of them, I think. I could eat a lot of them.
I don't doubt it.
An embarrassing amount, probably.
I don't know. Before my esophagus started to burn? I don't know.
What do you go on the corn dog? You go ketchup? You go mustard? You go nothing?
Mustard. I'm not a ketchup guy. I'm mustard.
Oh yeah. Same.
I don't like ketchup at all.
We're not children. That's why.
No. Ketchup. No.
We're evolved, grown-up adults that like hot dog Wellington.
God.
Yes, but I tell you that to tell you that the corny dogs at the state fair would be they do not want to see your boy coming. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Now, are we talking about also one more caveat? Are we talking about in one sitting or over the course of a day?
Oh no, I think one sitting, kind of like how you and I have talked about. If
The
somebody
chicken
put
minis?
this is another yes,
The
this is
chicken
another
minis,
great
yeah.
food question. We don't even have to go chicken minis. I would just say you go to the 4-year-old birthday party and somebody has bought the Chick-fil-A party tray of nuggets, which is what, like 60 nuggets or 100 nuggets or 60,
Yeah,
something like that.
something ridiculous.
How many of those nuggets could you eat in one sitting until you had to tap out?
I think I could probably do, like, if we're going back to the hot dog Wellington, I think I could probably do, I'm going to go with at max 7 at max. I know you could
7
eat
hot
that.
dog Wellingtons?
Yeah, I could probably at max.
But yeah, I think I could peel through 7, no problem.
Yeah.
How
Like
about the nugget tray?
the nugget tray, because I'm a grazer, so
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah.
I would do it not even thinking about it. So with that, I'd
Yeah.
probably get to like 40 before I'd even notice.
Yeah, dude, I have a hard time with that because I'm the same way. You know, you're at those parties and it's like every time you walk by, it's like one ends up in your hand and you're zip, one ends up in your hand,
Yeah.
zip.
Yeah.
And like, dude, like, you know, like 15, 20 passes past the table, you're looking at, I got two packs of nuggets in me. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like you could get there. 60, I think I could do it. We have talked about doing this. It's just,
Yes, we have.
I need to know that there's nothing for me productive that needs to be done the rest of that day, nor probably the next
day. Yeah.
But that is a food challenge I would like to be involved in. Now, here's another question on this. I would have to have mustard on the hot dog Wellingtons. That's a hard yes.
Yes.
On that, all right.
Yeah, definitely.
On the nugget tray though, your boys preferred dipping sauce is the ranch dressing. I don't know that you can go ranch for 60 nugs like that. You're involving dairy in the equation.
I could do it plain.
I think I could too. Yeah. And I think that would get you closer to the finish line.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Well, these are two food challenges that on the next preferred walk-on road trip that the boys should set out onto the table. How many can you imagine like a tray that comes out with hot dog Wellingtons stacked like, God, that's what dreams are made of, my friend. All right. On that note, we're going to stay in the great state of Texas. Kansas going to Lubbock to play the Red Raiders. Texas Tech is a 14.5-point home favorite. Man, this is a hard one to pick, I think. This number I loathe. I think you and I have both, as the season has progressed, have gotten to be more of a Texas Tech convert. I think we both had questions about what that roster would be like and probably most importantly, what that quarterback position would look like. Baron Morton has shut up all the doubters, has had a phenomenal year. And man, they're just they are a wagon. Like, dude, David Bailey and Romello Height on that defense, like they are really, really, really tough. On the opposite side of the coin, you got a KU team that, if a couple things bounce a different way, which feels like the story of the KU program the last couple of years, they could easily be 6-0, brother. Like, they went into Columbia and gave Mizzou all they wanted. They gave a game away to Cincinnati. I mean, good football team. And Jalen Daniels, a healthy Jalen Daniels, has been very, very good. And so I think you and I both thought Devin Dampier was going to be the Red Raiders' first test. Jalen Daniels may be it. So where do you sit on this? I don't think either one of us probably questions Texas Tech winning this football game, but boy, that seems like a big number to me.
Look, we've talked about Kansas and Jalen Daniels. We are very high on Kansas. We are very high on Jalen Daniels. It's part of a little bit of bias, but we've been high on him for years. So, but Texas Tech's defense has been nothing but just lights out. And that game against Utah, they were lights out in the first half, but that second half that showed me something.
Clamps.
Yeah, exactly. Man. And I think this is a game that's going to start off kind of like that first half against Utah. And it's going to look kind of ugly and just a little discombobulated. And then they're just going to grind you down in the second half and wear you out and get a couple of turnovers and pull away. And I'm not saying it's going to be 43-10 or whatever it was in that game, but I like this to be, 17, 20 points. I'm taking Texas Tech to win and cover. And it's the defense. The offense has been good, but the defense has also put them in favorable positions a lot to make it comfortable to where they can open up the playbook. the quarterback for Texas Tech has been good, but it also seems like a little bit in the early going games until they get comfortable, they don't really open up the playbook a lot. Have you noticed that? So it's like they're a little tentative in the beginning.
Yeah, I think they just feel like they don't have to. Like,
They don't have to. Yeah, you're right. The defense is really good.
that front seven has been really good. It's a weird number for me because I do think Kansas will score. What I think the difference is that line of scrimmage. I just think by, to your point, second quarter, third quarter, man, that Texas Tech defensive line is going to start leaning on that KU offensive line. And I just feel like it's going to be kind of like the floodgates open. I feel like in a lot of ways, that's what happened to them at Columbia, right? Like they go play Mizzou, they come out the gate hot, they get up like 21-6, and you're like, oh, dude, Kansas legit. They're about to pull this big win against Mizzou. And then, dude, it just over the course of the game, Mizzou just grinded it out. And like physically, they just kind of took over the football game. And that's kind of how I feel like this is going to go. I think something that is interesting about this Texas Tech team is given what they added with the transfer additions and given the talent they have at all those positions. Number one, what was our question? Would they gel? Would they be a unit? And dude, I think they've answered that. They seem very tight. Like they play very well together. I thought that Houston matchup last weekend was a little bit spicy for them, and they went in there and it was no questions. Like that game was never in doubt. They dominated that pillar to post. And so I just think they're comfortable with each other. They get really good play at the quarterback position. They can score the football. But I think the other thing is they know that they're not going to give up fireworks on the defensive side of the football. And so I don't know that Kansas is a team that's built to go 8 and 9 and 10 play drives over and over and over again. And I think if you're going to beat Texas Tech, this iteration of Texas Tech, that's what you have to be. Didn't that what it felt like in the Utah game? It just felt like Utah kept like waiting. We're going to pop one. We're going to pop one. And it just never happened. And like Utah did not have the ability to sustain a drive and just work their way down the field methodically. And so I don't know that Kansas is built to do that either. Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. I think I'm taking Texas Tech too. I think they are a really, really tough football team. And the more I watch them, the more I'm convinced of that. And so, yeah, I think Kansas will. I think the first half will be tight. And if you have Texas Tech at 14.5, you're going to have tight butthole for a little bit. But I think second half, man, they're going to open it up. So I'm with you. I'm taking the Red Raiders too. Sorry to all the family. This ain't a pick against the Jayhawks. It's a validation of what the Red Raiders are doing this year. All right. Deep South's oldest rivalry, episode 130. For Georgia Auburn. The Dogs heading down to the Plains to play Auburn. Auburn needs it, brother. I mean, everybody needs it, but Auburn needs it bad. You're coming off really disappointing loss against Oklahoma. Then you go and play Texas A&M. Offense looks super anemic, and now the Dogs come to town, and you are 3-17 against Georgia in the last 20. Now, I'm not going to steal your thunder, but what is Jordan Hare known as?
Voodoo Pet Cemetery Stadium from hell.
Yeah, there it is, right there. That's where it is for my boy. So we tell you that to tell you that all bets are off. All bets are off Saturday night. Like I have less than zero feel for this. Here's my thing about this Auburn team, man. They have, I think, one of the more talented wide receiver rooms in America, yet they don't take advantage of it. I think against A&M, Cam Coleman had what, like 3 catches for 17 yards or something? That is malpractice that he is stuck in that kind of box. Like, and what do you think? Do you think that is a symptom of them not utilizing it from a game plan perspective appropriately, or is it that Jackson Arnold just ain't it when it comes to stretching the field and throwing the football?
I think it's a little bit of both. I also think it's the fact that they can't run the ball. Like they ran all over Baylor, but since then they haven't been able to run the ball, and teams are just kind of like, all right, we can stop you with 5 or 6 running the ball, and we're just going to sit back and, we're going to have a too high safety and run man under and, dare you to beat us. And they've shown that they can't do it so far. So, I mean, that stadium is going to be just bananas. A night game in Jordan Hare. I hate that stadium with a burning passion. Never been, want to go. Would love to experience not with the Dogs, though. I think I want to experience in a different Auburn rivalry just because I don't know if I could do with the anxiety of it being a Dog fan.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that.
So, with that being said, I think this is going to be a really close game. This game could very well be very similar to the Brock Bowers game from a few years ago where he just took over
Mm-hmm.
and brought the Dogs back.
Yep.
I I mean, if Auburn coming off a bye, I mean, Hugh Freeze fighting for his job. Realistically, they lose this game, he more than likely, will get fired probably midseason if they lose this game. That's 3 losses in conference. I don't think he survives the season if they lose this game, especially if they lose it and they lose it big. I think Georgia's going to do that. I think this is going to be a close game. I'm going to take Auburn. This to me feels a little bit like the Alabama game where I was, cautiously optimistic the Dogs were going to win, but didn't like the spread. I think it's a 3-point game either way.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Here's an interesting thing for me, okay? Nobody in America been sacked more than Jackson Arnold, been sacked 20 times this year. Georgia's defensive front seven has not been excellent, to put it mildly. So you're getting a matchup of week on week when it comes to pass protection versus pass rush. I think if Georgia can rush the passer and make Jackson Arnold uncomfortable, put him on the turf, I think they're going to be in a really good spot. I worry about Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton exploiting that secondary. We'll see on that. I think on the flip side of that, if you're a Dogs fan, what you got to feel great about is the emergence of this running game. I mean, dude, they look very, very comfortable in the running game, and part of that is the emergence of Chauncey Bowens. He has been outstanding. We talked about this a little bit via text, but who he reminds me of is Dejon Edwards. He reminds me of Dejon Edwards with a little bit more bolt to him. But they just kind of, and maybe it's because they both wear numbers in the 30s, but like they move similarly. They don't really do anything super sexy, but the next thing you know, you look up and they got 100 yards. They just remind me a lot of each other. And I also really, really liked seeing Nate Frazier get some run again last week and look good. I just think he is so dynamic and such a game changer that they've got to keep feeding him. I know he's had the problems with the fumbles, but he is a weapon, man, and they got to keep utilizing him. I think the other thing, too, is they're going to have to hit some plays. They're going to have to be able to stretch the defense a little bit. So, dude, is Noah Thomas ever going to appear this year? Like, I feel like they just haven't been able to get him in and use him the way they thought they would.
I don't know. I mean, who you taking off the field if you're putting him in? That's kind of, I mean, Colby's been great. I mean, London's been great when he's been in. I think realistically, I think if you're looking at the rotation, I think he'd be on in the third grouping.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I think who you taking out because he's your prototypical X. He's the big body guy. So you got Colby. So my guess is he's behind Colby. He's behind London. That's that grouping.
Yeah, I would say that's right. And Kirby got asked about him, and he said, that look, there's been a couple shots where he was open and we missed him, and his time's coming. And I thought the encouraging thing and the cool thing from a program perspective is he talked about, look, he never complains. He's always looking for opportunities on special teams, and so good for him. I mean, good for the kid for being bought in, and hopefully he'll get some shine soon because he's a big weapon. And so I think using him is to their benefit. I think the other thing for Georgia is they have got to start involving the tight ends, man. I know Oscar Delp had a nice catch and run last week and showed some wheels, but him and Lawson Lucky not being more involved is vexing to me.
Well, did you notice that Williams got some play last week?
Dude, Elias Williams is a weapon. And
yes,
so
he is.
He should get some play. I think too, I think maybe more so than both of them, he's so much more of a hybrid capability. He moves so smooth. Like, you could easily put him in the slot and do some things and create some mismatches. So he should be getting run. Absolutely.
Well, I love the fact. I mean, I know we're harping on Georgia a lot because we are Dogs fans, but I mean, let's be realistic a little bit here. I mean, one of the most things that made me happy last week was the interception that Gunner threw because he was taking a shot down the seam to, I think it was Delp. It was Delp or Lucky. He was one of the tight ends, which we haven't taken a seam shot all season. So I know it was a pick and it was covered, but at least he's taking the shot.
Yeah, I think he has gotten better week to week of, I'm going to step up in the pocket and let it rip. Whereas I think first couple games he was a little tentative on that. I think Tennessee again was a good confidence builder for him. And look, it's not like he played bad against Alabama. He didn't. Not
I mean,
you're talking about
he really didn't do. They didn't ask him to do much. They were just
no.
because he could run all over him.
Plus, you're talking a Talon Taylor dropped pass away from talking about him making the throw of the night again. So, it's one of those things where it just depends how things go. I thought he looked pretty good against Kentucky, though. I would like to see them. We've talked about this as well, but if he is a quote-unquote dual threat guy, I would like to see them actively utilize that more. I think what I have seen, and what do I know, but what I have seen is when it comes to more upper-level competition, say in Alabama, a Tennessee, I just don't think he has the wheels to make a difference, right? Like, I think it's enough to honor it, but it's not enough where if we need 8 yards, we want Gunner to pull it, right? Like, I don't think that's in his spiritual gifting when it gets to this level.
But I would like to see him pull it some to make them respect it, because I don't think like that was one of the things I noticed. I go back and watch every game. SEC Network does this really cool thing where you get to watch it from behind the quarterback.
Yeah, you get the all 22.
It's not the all 22 because all 22 is from above. So this is like
it's like directly behind him,
directly behind the quarterbacks. It's like you're see it from like you're maybe like 5 yards behind the quarterback.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a really cool shot. I don't know what they call it, but it's a really cool shot. And there were several times when now granted, we were able to push Kentucky, so I understand why, but he could have pulled it and probably picked up 15 to 20 yards where we got like a 7-yard run.
Yeah.
And because we were able to just move Kentucky's defensive line. Because the right side or left side was just, I mean, there was nobody there because everybody crashed to the running back. It's like they don't respect him because he's not fast.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. I think what you got to lean on or think about picking this game is you're talking about a Kirby Smart coach team and a Hugh Freeze coach team. And that may be a really crude way to frame it, but I just feel like if we're going to lay stuff somewhere, I'm going to lay it on the Kirby Smart side of the ledger. I'm going to take the dogs. I do think you bring up a ton of good points, though. I think this could very easily be a 3-point game. I don't think the dogs are running away with this or even comfortable, really, throughout this ball game. I think this is a down to the end of the fourth quarter ball game. But I'm going to take the dogs. I like how they're evolving. I think they're going to continue to get better. And I think they are a little more settled in who they are and what they want to do, especially offensively, than Auburn currently is in their iteration. So that's where I'm going. I will say it does give me a little anxiety that Jackson Arnold has the legs that he does. That gives them a lot of problems. So they have got to contain him and make sure he stays on schedule because I worry about them popping some stuff off schedule to Cam Coleman or Singleton. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at in that one. All right, next one on the docket, Death Valley on a Saturday night, South Carolina and the Gamecocks headed into Baton Rouge to play an LSU team whose offense has left a lot to be desired, my friend. Their defense has been excellent, and if the offense could hold up their end of the bargain, this LSU team could get real scary real quick. But I don't know, man. Something seems weird there. Something seems off. I can't put my finger on it, but something just seems off with their whole operation right now. South Carolina, on the flip side, I think also been a little bit underwhelming, but Lenore Sellers is still superhuman in a lot of ways. So I think he's going to present some real problems for LSU's defense from a containment perspective. How you feeling on this one?
Can't believe that the reasoning I'm picking this is the reason I'm picking this game the way I'm picking it. I'm taking the Cox, and I'm taking them because I think they're better coached. Just straight up. They don't have the home field advantage. They're not the more talented roster. I think they have the most talented player, but they're not the more talented roster, but I think they're better coached. I think Kelly, with his last post-game presser where he basically just said, Nuss has to be better. He took no responsibility. He basically threw his quarterback under the bus. And I think that if he hasn't lost the locker room, he's going to lose the locker room. And it's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, you've been a coach for 30 years at this point at some level. Like, I mean, grow up. I mean, I don't know. It's ridiculous. So I think South Carolina, I would not be shocked if they go in and win. I know Death Valley is a damn hard place to play, but This is around the time last year where South Carolina started putting everything together and went on their run. So I'm going to take the Cox. I think it's going to be close. I think they're going to cover. It's huge. Just their offense is, like you said, something's off. And I think it starts at the top with Kelly.
I 100% agree with that. I think, look, man, BK is not my cup of tea for sure. So I'm probably biased, but I don't like how he's handled a lot of this. I am big time for accountability, and I don't think he's been accountable at all for what's gone on there. I've always thought he was a funny culture fit there anyways. It doesn't seem like it's working. And look, man, I think you and I both thought if their defense played like it's played this year, they were going to be a real problem in this SEC race. And it just hasn't worked out that way, which is crazy. To your point, too, even with the South Carolina thing, dude, I think South Carolina, and I know this because I live in the state, man, they're still smarting from the game last year. That was a game last year they've talked about all offseason. But if we'd beaten LSU, if the refs hadn't screwed us, if XYZ would have been in the playoffs. And so there is a lot of, just a lot in the tank there, I think, for South Carolina and their fan base for coming out and being all guns a-blazing in this game. I don't know that they win this game straight up, but I'm with you. It doesn't feel like a 10-point margin to me. And so I'm going to take South Carolina too. I think they cover. This feels more like a touchdown game to me. I could see LSU winning this game by a touchdown, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at 10. So I'm going to take the Gamecocks too. And look, they got their own issues. No, I mean, I'm not saying they don't. They certainly do. That offense has been weird. Mike Shula's play calling has been bizarre. So they got to get their own stuff straight. I think to your point, they do get better as the season goes on. So I'll take them to cover here. All right, next one on the list got a whole lot more interesting in the last 24 hours, and that is because Sam Leavitt, Arizona State's quarterback, has been ruled doubtful on the injury report from the Sun Devils this week. They head to Rice Eccles in Salt Lake City to play Utah, who is a 5.5-point home favorite. Let me just tell you this, brother, before we even get into it. I cannot wait to hear the actual full story on what happened to Sam Leavitt, because they are not talking about it. And it's just like overnight it happened. So I want to hear the full story about how he did like a backflip off the balcony at one of the Arizona State sorority parties or something like that. Like, that's the story I want to hear, baby. So if anybody's got the tea, let it out.
Well, it lost my complete train of thought there because I had that image in my head.
You just were thinking about doing a backflip into the pool at the sorority party. That's right. That's the first thing I thought of.
Oh, my God. So, I mean, all you've heard about from Arizona State all week is how Kenny Dillingham is like spraying water on the water bottle as Leavitt's throwing passes in practice because there's supposed to be this huge storm. And look, I'll be completely honest. I had Utah picked beforehand. I mean, that stadium is a house of horrors for Arizona State. If this was a noon game or a 3:30 game, I lean more toward ASU covering with Leavitt. Without Leavitt, I don't think they got a snowball's chance in, hell. But with this being a night game, I don't care who's quarterback underneath there. You could have Joe Namath under there, Roger Staubach, bring any Hall of Famer you want. I don't think they're covering it. Like that, it's a mental thing with them, I think. ASU just does not show up there like it's Georgia, Alabama. It's something with that program going to Rice Eccles. They do not show up. I think Utah rolls in this game.
Dude, do you know who's playing quarterback for the Sun Devils for Forks Up on Saturday night? Did you see who their backup is?
Who's their backup?
Jeff Sims.
He's still around?
That's the first thing everybody said. He's still around. Dude,
like what is his 8th year?
Dude, I think at least. He was, Georgia Tech, Nebraska. I mean, he has been, dude, I think he started something like 25 games at Georgia Tech. Like, he is on college football Social Security program. That's how long he's been playing. Yeah, so he is apparently getting the start on Saturday night. I think what Dillingham's quote was last night or today on radio station was it would what did he say? It would be a miracle if he played Saturday night. Like, dude, come on, tell us what happened. Like I was all over Twitter, man, trying to find something. Like I needed some kind of message board intel from somebody saying they saw him do the backflip into the pool at the Gamma 5 party.
You don't think this is
Thursday
a coach's
night.
Decision, do you?
No, I don't. I think so they've been saying, oh, well, he got injured against Baylor and it got re-aggravated and now he can't play. And I'm like, shit. he went out partying and he popped his knee or he did something, or, I mean, look, now, we're not going to speculate on what other things could have happened, but let's just say he is the quarterback at Arizona State, which is known to be quite the party school. I hope it's from something excellent. That's what I hope. I can't wait to hear what the full story is. And Sam, I hope it does not disappoint the waiting.
We need
populace.
a 30 for 30 on this.
Yes, I can't wait to find out what happened. So yeah, he's probably not going to play. And dude, they are, we have obviously harped on it a ton. They are not the same without Cam Scatterboo. Look, man, if Sam Levitt ain't playing, like, I feel like he is part of their personality, right? And so I'm sorry, man. I'm sure Jeff Sims is a perfectly nice young man and a very capable football player, but it ain't happening, Bubba. It's just, it ain't going to happen on Saturday night. I feel bad for you. The muss is going to be popping at Rice Eccles. And you know we like our boy Devin Dampier, too. So if we're pulling straws on whether we're rolling with a Jeff Sims-led squad or a Devin Dampier-led squad, give me Double D all day, baby. All right. Favorite time of the week? Yes. Game of the week. And repeat performers, I feel like they're going to keep being in here because they are an absolute machine. And that is the Bison. North Dakota State coming off a big win last weekend in Normal against Illinois State. Dude, to the Redbirds' credit, they took them to the fourth quarter, hanging with them. It was 18-16, and then the wagon just unleashed itself and overwhelmed them. Like, homie, I was trying to think about this. We always say Thanos a lot. They're inevitable. I'm trying to think of something else of what they are. They are just, dude, they are a lot. Like, their defense is so good. Their offense is just pop, 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 pop. Now, look, this Southern Illinois team is good too, okay? But they got to go to the Fargo Dome. Southern Illinois has never won at the Fargo Dome. 0-7 all time. Exciting matchup, though. You got 2 Walter Payton Award candidates, really 3, because I think you have to still throw Bryce Lance into that. But you got Bryce Lance at North Dakota State, Cole Payton, signal caller at North Dakota State, and then you got DJ Williams, the quarterback at Southern Illinois, who's having an incredible year, dude. He's thrown for 1,200, 11 scores through the air. He's their leading rusher, has run for 386, got 9 touchdowns on the ground. Dude, he's awesome. And so that's kind of the matchup, right? Whereas on the flip side, Cole Payton's thrown for 1,200, 9 touchdowns, also got over 300 on the ground and 3 touchdowns of his own. I think the difference here, kind of where the wiggle is, North Dakota State only giving up 9.2 points a game on defense, dude. That defense just wants to punch you in the mouth. Now, to the Salukis' credit, they are bringing the Missouri Valley Conference's Defensive Player of the Week into the Fargo Dome with them, and also consensus first team all nickname American, Shug Walker. Come on, baby.
What a name. What
a name. I mean, if you were creating a linebacker in NCAA football, Shug Walker, I mean, that's top tier, baby. So, yeah. Anyways, I am excited about this. We're going to start this way. Before you get to the number, which is outrageous, but what is a Saluki? I'm putting my boy on the spot here. He should know this. And when I tell him what a Saluki is, he'll be mad he didn't know. If you pull this, I'll be so proud.
I'm trying to, hold on.
No, it is not a Dr. Seuss character.
Why can't I picture does it have anything to do with their actual, like, emblem?
Nope. It's a real thing.
I've got nothing. Because I was trying to think of their emblem.
He's going to be so disappointed in himself, ladies and gentlemen. My boy is a dog person. And the fact that he did not know that a Saluki is an Arabian hound.
Oh my God. That is going to aggravate the ever-loving shit out of me.
Dude, so I was reading some of their boards. They go by the dogs, like DAWGS, which I thought was awesome.
I'm pulling. Oh my God, that thing is ugly.
Well, yeah, it's not the best looking animal.
It's like a long-haired greyhound. What? Wow, it is
an interesting creature. It's an interesting creature in God's kingdom, that's for sure.
Sorry. Wow.
But the Salukis heading to the Fargo Dome to play mighty North Dakota State. Dude, again, we've talked about this a bunch. Really difficult to find kind of hard nail in the ground lines for some of these games. But what I kept seeing was pretty much the same as I saw against Illinois State last week, which is 24.5 is what the Bison are favored by at home, which, God, man, that is such a massive number. But then you go and look at their games and you're like, well, not that massive. I don't know. How you sitting on this?
I keep going back to North Dakota's defense, North Dakota State's defense. It's just suffocating. Like, they are like, still in this day and age, they are like the early 2000 Alabama's defense. Like, it's just suffocating. And I, just like Novocaine, their offense just wears you down and eventually pulls away at the end. So I know they didn't cover last week and I picked them. But they were on the road. But back in the Fargo Dome, I'm going to pick them to cover. And because I had my 15-year-old look at these last week, look at the picks, and I will now no longer call North Dakota State anything else. She says it phonetically, Indisu. So that is now what they are. She said it phonetically because she looked at it and she's like, what the hell is that? And she said it Indisu. So that is now what they are.
God, I love that. I think to put it on the t-shirts right now. Put it on a t-shirt right now. Mighty, mighty Indisu in the Fargo Dome on Saturday night. God, I love that. Let me tell you something, dude. I saw him live and in color at Johnson Haygood here in Charleston playing the Citadel. And bless the Citadel's heart, they did everything they could. That defense strangled them like a boa constrictor. I mean, they did nothing. They played 3 different quarterbacks that day. 3. It did not matter, all right? That defense is just, man, they are really, really good. Here's the other thing, dude. Cole Payton is a really good player. And I think what I like about him is he seems like the type of kid who wants you to hit him. That's what I felt like watching him, that opener, is he gets better the more he gets his bell rung. True dual threat guy. Dude, man, I think he fits their personality. They just seem, I don't know, man. They are really, really good. That's why I thought Illinois State, you should keep your eyes on Illinois State if you're a fan of FCS football, because I think given how they looked against North Dakota State, they are also a very good football team. Also, one of the guys who takes a ton of trips, one of the college football campus tour guys, I always mix them up because there's a bunch of them and I follow all of them because I love it. But he was there last week. And so he posted a ton of pictures from Normal. Brother, they have an actual red carpet that they walk out on when they come out of their locker room.
Well, that's awesome. That's great.
So awesome. Yeah, it looks so cool. I would love to have been there. Fargo Dome, an absolute time too. I think that's the other thing in this equation is that is an impossible place to play. And so I think you put Southern Illinois in a tough spot. I will say I'm excited to see DJ Williams play. I think he's really, really good player. And I just think if anybody can give them some problems, it would be him. I think the issue is it's just him. Like, they don't have like a Robin in the backfield that's going to run the football and kind of help him out. And so I don't know. I just don't know if they have enough weapons. I think I'm taking the Bison too. I've learned my lesson with them, although I did take Illinois State last week. But hey, man, my father-in-law's a grad. I wasn't not going to pick the Redbirds. All right. So, yeah, but I think this week, I don't know. I just think it's too much. I think home field, I think we've seen them play a bunch this year. They're just, God, they're a really, really good football team. I am fully convinced that if as a program, North Dakota State made the decision to jump, join the Mountain West or something like that, dude, they'd have no problems competing very, very quickly, in my opinion. They profile to me a ton like JMU did when JMU made the jump, or App State or whatever. So, yeah, they're really, really good. There's some good games this week, too. I still got a big-time eye on Tarleton State. Man, that Tarleton State team is really interesting. That could very well end up being the FCS title game. North Dakota State, Tarleton State. I could see that happening.
I don't think North Dakota State has any interest in going up, though, do you?
No, I don't. I think they are perfectly content to be at this level, recruit like they do, have the tradition like they do, and go and win national titles. Like, I think it would, this is going to sound weird, but I think it makes them unique, right? Like, I think, especially in that area of the country, playing FCS football is not something to be ashamed of. Those programs love being in the FCS. I think the other thing, too, is, to your point, I think if they jump, right, then you're leaving behind all those traditional rivalries. Like, you leave behind the marker game. You leave behind all these regional things. I don't think any of them have the desire to do that. And I'm cool with that. In a lot of ways, man, I think it'd be cool if Wyoming dropped back to FCS. I just think regionally it's cool. But That's just one man's opinion, though. All right, man. Well, that's all I got. It is going to be an absolute time, and I've got the countdown clock on, baby, until it kicks off tonight. So I'm going to have my mean green hat on. I don't have one, but I would gladly wear one. I'll tell you that. I am wearing a green hat, if you didn't notice. Go Tribe. All right. Well, y'all strap in, glue your ass to the couch, as my boy would tell you. And until next time, kiss your nooch.